Furious 7. This time, it ain't just about being fast. Alright, Furious 7. Furious 7 is the count 'em, seventh movie in the Fast and Furious franchise. This thing has gone from just street racing and just terrible acting throughout, and now it's bank heists and robberies with terrible acting throughout. And it's been an enjoyable franchise this far, and this movie sends off one of the late Paul Walker, who tragically died, and this is his last film ever, and so this whole film feels like a big tribute to him. And throughout the plot of this movie is Jason Statham plays the brother of Owen Shaw, who in number 6 was the bad guy, and he's out for revenge, and the crew has to get back together and go on one last ride to make sure that they don't hurt any of them. That's basically the plot. It's a lot more convoluted than that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things are going to happen. Obviously, this is a movie that depicts a lot of the laws of nature. I'm going to see a lot of crazy stuff. It's one of those movies in the last part of the franchise where it started with Fast 5, where everything starts to get more of over-the-top action stuff rather than just strictly street racing like the earlier ones. And this is kind of what you expect coming in, and it is what it is. I mean, you get a lot of crazy action scenes that are way over the top, but it's entertaining and it earns the money, so you can't really deny that whatsoever.
Yeah, this really has created its own genre, these last 3 Fast and Furious movies, because they're just over the top, they're loud, they're fun, and the whole thing about this movie, no matter how crazy and how many times you can nitpick if that's real or not, you're still enjoying it while you're watching it, and you think it's cool, and it's just a fun time.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I mean, character-wise, I think, they basically bring back the entire main part of the cast from all the movies, and they bring them all together for one last ride with at least Paul Walker. We're probably going to see some more movies later on, but yeah, I mean, I think basically everyone does a great job. Jason Statham as the main villain, again, he was pretty darn good, but they could have probably used him a little bit more. I think a lot of the scenes that he was in were just kind of there, he would just kind of be there, and then really not a lot going on with his character. I think they could have done a lot more with that. Another character I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more was The Rock, seeing his character Hobbs. Hoping to see a lot more of him, and because he was kind of a comic character as well, and I just not a big fan of Tyrese Gibson's character at all. I don't think he's that funny at all, and I think having Hobbs instead be the comic relief would have been a lot better.
Yeah, Jason Statham, I liked the scenes he was in. I thought he was good in it, but I just think they didn't utilize him as well as they could have. They could have had him been more of the central villain and really control what was happening, but instead they kind of did whatever they had to do, and he would just pop up every now and then and try to stop him. But as for the rest of the cast, I liked most of them. I would have liked to see more of The Rock, but this really wasn't his movie like the other ones. He turned the franchise around. He helped it what it became, and this wasn't really his movie. He was just there, and it was fun to see him when he was there. But I could have used a little bit more of him. And as for the comedy, this movie definitely goes for a lot more of the laughs than the other one has. And I'd say it was pretty 50-50 for when I laughed at it. Some of it was forced, and other times it was pretty funny. But I kind of like Ludacris, Taj, or his character. I like him more. I think he could have carried the comedy better.
Yeah, I would agree. The plot of this movie is not terrible either. I mean, it's the brother of Owen Shaw. And yeah, I mean, it does a good job, but really, again, like I say, what drives this movie is Vin Diesel's character bringing the whole group together at the end, and I mean, it's very mushy plot at times, but I mean, you're not really paying for that. You want to see the action, the car chases, the fist fights, and there's plenty of those, and I think they're overall done pretty well. Which is nice to see.
And another thing about the plot, none of the movies have good plots, so I'm not going to try to defend the plot, but one thing they did have to deal with was the tragic passing of Paul Walker, and they kind of had to stop midway through and rewrite it to be like, okay, what can we do? They even considered just dropping the film altogether, but they continued on, and I applaud them for that. You can tell when it's not Paul Walker, which is kind of tough, but they work around it, and I think they did a good job of just continuing the movie and leaving it in his honor.
Yeah, if you didn't know anything about what happened to Paul Walker, you've never seen any other Fast and Furious movies, I don't think you could really see that, but I think pretty much everyone knows at this point. But yeah, you can pretty much spot it. And when you're kind of going into this movie, I don't know, at least for me, I kind of went into kind of looking for those moments to see if I could figure it out. And yeah, I mean, you can definitely tell, but in the end, I think it's a pretty darn good send-off. Without spoiling anything, again, I thought that the way that they sent him off was really well done.
Very well done.
Still, I mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I think it was really well done. They could have even done a little more, maybe, though. But still, I think it was pretty darn well how they handled that. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty darn amazing that they were still able to finish this movie with him passing.
Yeah, I thought this movie had a more mature obviously, it was still over the top and goofy and one-liners, but I thought it felt more mature, the acting and stuff, because they knew it was his last film. They wanted to give their all for him. So I thought the actors really stepped up their game, and it was actually decent acting during the dramatic parts, which usually it's kind of laughable. But I thought everyone really wanted to sell this movie and really make it a big hit.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally agree. Again, you're going to have a lot of fun with this movie as you do with any Fast and Furious movie. Is it the best Fast and Furious? I don't know. It kind of really depends. I would probably say no. I'm a bigger fan of the earlier ones with the actual street racing, that kind of stuff, what the name actually is, but that's just me. Some of these old, newer ones are very good as well, though. You're going to get your money's worth when it comes to action and everything. And yeah, I mean, it's a good movie, good sound to Paul Walker, and with a full cast from all the Fast and the Furious franchise, you're going to see plenty of familiar people come in, and I think that's really what does a good job in this movie. I'm going to go ahead and give this movie an 8 out of 10. I thought it was very, very solid. Not the best of the Furious franchise, but no doubt about it, was a great time, and yeah, I mean, I think that's basically sums it up.
Yeah, these movies are really hard to score because they're so different, and they're just so much fun that you can't really, you try to pick out the flaws, but then you're like, oh wait, I shouldn't think about the flaws because that'll ruin the experience for me. So overall, I went out of the theater really liking it. Then you start to think about it, but I'll just push that aside. I'll match you and go 8 out of 10 because I really did like this movie. It's not my favorite in the franchise, but it's definitely not the worst. I think it fits right in with what they're going for, and it was a good send-off for Paul Walker. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Yep, and before we end the video, before Jack finishes things off, we want to thank you for an entire year of our YouTube life. On this particular day, we started our YouTube channel, and
Captain
from now
America,
on,
the Winter Soldier.
Yep, and from now on, we really appreciate all your support from everyone who has either watched, click the subscribe button, click the like button. Is so, or it makes us so happy, and this is why we do it.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't gotten a lot of subscribes and views and likes, but even the ones we have gotten still motivate us to make more videos and try to up our quality and do what we're doing and do it better. So thank you for everyone that has subscribed, liked, and viewed. Just a big shout out to you guys because you're what's keeping us going.
Yeah, and also if you have any suggestions or anything, again, feel free to comment, whatever. I mean, we want to improve this channel. We want to get some better content for you guys, and that's really what our motive is.
Yeah, and as usual, thank you guys for watching this review. If you want to see more, click the like button down below, and we'll keep pumping out videos. J&J Reviews.
Signing out.